Right now, I have a report on the California stimulus checks. Will we all be receiving stimulus checks? Let's find out. These states are sending residents stimulus checks up to $1,500 to combat inflation. Last week, Florida government Ron DeSantis announced that low-income families in the state will receive checks worth $450 per child in an effort to ease the toll decades-high inflation is taking on household bottom lines. Florida joins more than a dozen other states that have implemented some type of relief effort as ever-increasing prices batter household budgets across the country. The stimulus efforts vary by state, but included one-time payments, tax refunds, tax credits, and suspending gas taxes. Inflation soared over 9.1% in June compared to a year ago, continuing an expensive trend that's been hammering households for a year. Gas, housing, and food prices have been especially burdensome, though drivers seem to be finally getting some type of relief at the pump. Many states, including Florida, are using surplus funds from government COVID-19 aid packages to fund stimulus efforts. These measures are often included in state budget proposals, which means residents will have to wait a few months for the relief. Here's a breakdown on some of the state stimulus efforts so far. California, qualifying for residents will receive relief checks worth up to $1,050. Gavin Newsom announced last month the payments vary depending on filing status. Colorado taxpayers will receive one-time rebates worth $750 for individuals and $1,500 for joint filers. Delaware began issuing $300 relief checks to each adult resident in May of this year. Florida, about 60,000 low-income families will receive one-time payments worth $450 per qualifying child, including foster children and adopted children. Georgia began sending out one-time relief payments worth up to $250 for single filers, $500 for joint filers, and $375 for head of the household filers in May. Hawaii government David Ige signed a tax rebate into law at the end of June. Taxpayers who earn less than $100,000 per year, $200,000 for couples filing jointly, will get $300. Those earnings more will be $100 there. The rebates are expected to be sent out starting the end of August. Idaho. In February, Idaho Governor Brad Little approved a measure to send tax rebates amounting to $75 per taxpayer in each dependent, or 12% of their 2020 taxes, which is greater. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, didn't mean to chop that up, Brainiacs right back to it, has signed off on a variety of measures to help families. These include $50 tax rebates to all individuals who made less than $200,000 in 2021 and $100 for couples earning less than $400,000. Taxpayers will also receive $100 per dependent, up to 3 dependents. Indiana residents will receive $125 each after they file their 2021 tax returns. Those who typically earn too little to file a tax return also qualifying for the payments. Maine. Qualifying Maine residents begin receiving one-time rebates worth $850 in June. The average Maine family should have received $1,700 according to Governor Janet Mills. Massachusetts. The Massachusetts legislature has sent multiple cash payments to low-income essential workers this year, including one worth $500. New Jersey residents with at least one qualifying dependent has started to receive rebate checks worth up to $500. The rebates are being sent by paper check. New Mexico. Qualifying New Mexico residents will get a refundable child tax credit worth up to $175 per child, as well as one-time refundable income tax rebate worth $250 for qualifying single filers and $500 for married couples filing jointly. Oregon. Hundreds of thousands of low-income Oregonians received a one-time payment of $600 between June 23rd and July 11th, according to the state's government. South Carolina. South Carolina tax filers will receive rebates worth up to $800 by the end of the year. Virginia. Qualifying Virginia residents will receive a one-time payment worth $250 for individuals and $500 for couples. Other proposals. Legislators in some states not listed above have proposed a one-time payment or other measures to help families cope with the rising costs, but they have not been signed into law. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly, for example, has proposed sending a one-time $250 tax rebate, $500 for joint filers, to all Kansas residents who filed a 2020 tax return in North Carolina. Democrats want to send $200 to eligible drivers. This is a report on the stimulus, and will your country or state receive one? This is a quick report by Brainiac Media Group, and thank you.